The conference hall of the Galactic Council station gleamed with crystalline walls that shifted colors based on the mood of the speakers. Today, those walls rippled with shades of blue and purple, colors that represented amusement among most species present. At the center of the circular room stood Ambassador David Chen, his hands clasped behind his back, his face carefully neutral as laughter echoed around him. "Forgive us." "Human," said High Counselor Vexathi of the Velkari delegation, his translator rendering his chittering into smooth standard galactic. His 6 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture his species used to show friendly mockery. "But surely you jest about these extreme dangers on your world." Chen had been presenting Earth's application for sovereign borders for the past hour. The holographic display behind him showed rotating images of Earth: sapphire oceans, emerald forests, snow-capped mountains, and golden deserts. To the assembled aliens, it looked like paradise itself. "I assure you, Counselor, I am completely serious," Chen replied. "Earth is classified by our own standards as a Class 12 death world. We respectfully request that our borders remain closed to unauthorized visitors." This triggered another wave of laughter. Counselor Then, a floating being composed of gaseous matter contained in a transparent suit, pulsed with colors that indicated disbelief. "Ambassador Chen, we have evaluated over 10,000 worlds across the galaxy. We know a garden world when we see one. Your planet has water, abundant plant life, and a stable orbit. These are the marks of a peaceful paradise. Our analysis shows your gravity is only slightly higher than standard," added Velkari Science Officer Rickson, manipulating a datapad with his delicate appendages. "Your atmospheric composition is ideal. Your temperature ranges are comfortable. Your star is stable and long-lived. By every measure, Earth is among the most hospitable worlds we have encountered." Chen took a slow breath. He had expected this. The other human diplomats on his team had warned him that the presentation would go this way. The galaxy, it seemed, had been fortunate. Most spacefaring species had evolved on worlds that were gentle and forgiving. "If I may direct your attention to the biological surveys," Chen said, changing the holographic display. Images of Earth's creatures began to appear. Lions, sharks, bears, crocodiles, poisonous snakes, venomous spiders. "Ah yes, your fauna," Vexathi said, leaning forward with interest. "Quite remarkable diversity. We particularly admire your small furry creatures. What do you call them, cats? We would very much like to import some for our youth centers." "Counselor, those small furry creatures are apex predators," Chen said carefully. "They have retractable claws, powerful jaws, and hunting instincts that—" "How adorable," interrupted Ambassador Shiala from the peaceful Melodian Collective. Her species resembled tall, willowy plants with bioluminescent flowers for heads, predators the size of our younglings. "On our world, even our largest creatures are gentle herbivores. Your planet must be so charming." Chen felt his jaw tighten. He pulled up another image, a great white shark breaching the water, jaws open. "This creature can bite with a force of over 18,000 newtons. It can detect a single drop of blood in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It has been hunting in Earth's oceans for over 400 million years. Magnificent," Rickson exclaimed. "But surely it poses no threat to intelligent beings with proper technology. 3 of our researchers were killed by one last year when their submersible failed," Chen said flatly. The room went quiet for a moment. Then Vexathi waved a dismissive appendage. "Tragic, certainly, but accidents happen. This does not warrant the extreme military presence you maintain around your system. We detected over 2,000 armed stations in your solar system alone. For a garden world, this seems excessive. Paranoid, even. We have good reasons." "Ambassador Chen," Vexathi interrupted, his tone becoming more formal. "The Galactic Council has a proposal. We recognize that humanity is new to the galactic community. You may not understand the benefits of opening your world to trade and tourism. Earth would be classified as a premium garden world. Species across the galaxy would pay enormous sums to vacation on your beaches, to walk through your forests, to experience a world so rare and beautiful. We could establish resorts," Shiala added enthusiastically, "meditation centers among your mountains, healing retreats near your oceans. Your world could become the crown jewel of the civilized galaxy." Chen felt his blood run cold. "Counselor, I must strongly advise against. In exchange," Vexathi continued, "we offer humanity full council membership immediately, rather than the standard probationary period of 50 years. We offer advanced technology, trade agreements, and most importantly, protection. Your excessive military installations could be dismantled. You would be safe under council jurisdiction. The other human diplomats in the room shifted uncomfortably. Chen saw his aide, Lieutenant Sarah Morrison, shake her head almost imperceptibly. They had discussed this possibility. The council was not making a simple offer. They were making a demand wrapped in silk. The answer is no, Chen said firmly. Earth's borders will remain closed except for approved diplomatic missions. Our military installations will remain in place. We will not accept council jurisdiction over our homeworld. The amusement in the room evaporated. The crystalline walls shifted to red and orange, colors that signaled displeasure and confusion. You would refuse protection? Then asked, his gaseous form swirling with agitation. You would refuse prosperity for what? To maintain this paranoid isolation? To protect both our people and yours, Chen replied. Counselors, I have tried to explain. Earth is not what you think it is. Opening our world to unprepared visitors would result in casualties. Significant casualties. Vexathi stood, his posture radiating dismissal. We have noted your concerns, Ambassador Chen. However, the Council cannot accept such unreasonable restrictions based on exaggerated claims. We will table this discussion, but I warn you, humanity cannot hide behind closed borders forever. The galaxy has ways of encouraging cooperation. As the session ended and the delegates filed out, Morrison approached Chen. That sounded like a threat. Sir? It was, Chen replied quietly, watching the aliens leave. And they have no idea what they're threatening. The luxury vessel, Precious Dream, glided past Earth's outer defense perimeter without incident. Inside the command deck, Velkari merchant Prince Zek, Thayer stood with his 3 primary arms crossed in satisfaction, while his 2 smaller arms held a glass of imported nectar. I told you the humans would not dare stop a diplomatic vessel, he said to his companions. Behind him, 20 wealthy Velkari tourists chittered excitedly as the blue marble of Earth grew larger in the view screen. His security chief, a nervous female named Pixel, checked her instruments. My prince, we are receiving multiple warning transmissions from human vessels. They are ordering us to turn back immediately or be fired upon. Empty threats, Zekthar dismissed with a wave. We carry the Council's diplomatic seal. They cannot touch us without violating galactic law. Continue descent. The Precious Dream entered Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. The tourists pressed against the viewing ports, gasping at the beauty below. Vast stretches of green forest covered mountain ranges. Rivers sparkled like silver threads in the sunlight. White clouds drifted lazily across blue skies. It is even more beautiful than the images, breathed Shirin, a young Velkari on her first off-world journey. Look how the light reflects off the water. I have never seen such colors. The ship's navigation system selected a landing site based on sensor readings, a temperate zone with comfortable temperatures, low radiation, abundant water, and minimal seismic activity. The vessel touched down gently in a clearing surrounded by massive coniferous trees. As the airlock opened, Zekthar took the first step onto Earth. His footpads sank slightly into soft earth covered with fallen needles. The air smelled strange but pleasant, full of scents his translator could not identify. He breathed deeply, filling his respiratory system with the alien atmosphere. Perfectly safe, he announced, just as I predicted. The humans are simply overprotective of their primitive world. The group disembarked, carrying recording equipment and sample containers. The Velkari stood roughly 4 feet tall on 6 legs with chitinous exoskeletons that gleamed iridescent in Earth's sunlight. They had evolved on a low-gravity world with minimal predators, where the greatest danger came from falling from great heights. These trees are enormous, Pixel observed, craning her neck to look up at the towering Douglas firs. Some must be over 60 meters tall. Perfect for the nature documentary I am producing, said Rivak, adjusting his recording equipment. My viewers will be fascinated. A true garden world, untouched and pristine. They wandered deeper into the forest, marveling at everything. Ferns grew in impossible sizes. Moss covered fallen logs like green blankets. In the distance they heard sounds, birds calling, branches rustling, something moving through the underbrush. What was that? Shirin asked, her voice tinged with excitement rather than fear. Probably one of those adorable creatures the humans showed us, Zekthar replied. Perhaps a deer or a rabbit. Harmless herbivores. The something in the underbrush moved closer. The Velkari stopped. Their recording equipment pointed toward the sound. Through the green shadows emerged a large black shape, moving on four legs with surprising speed. "Oh, how wonderful," Rivok exclaimed. "What species is this?" The black bear stopped 10 meters away. She stood nearly 2 meters tall at the shoulder, her fur gleaming, her small eyes focused on the aliens. Behind her, 2 cubs emerged from behind a fallen log. "It has offspring," Sheeran said delightedly. "This is perfect footage. The maternal instincts of the bear charged." What happened next took less than 10 seconds, but those seconds would haunt the survivors forever. The bear moved faster than their sensors had predicted was possible for something that massive. She covered the distance before any of them could react. Zekthar, standing in front, took the first blow. A paw the size of his entire torso smashed into him with incredible force. His exoskeleton, which could withstand industrial accidents on his homeworld, cracked like glass. He flew backward and did not move again. Pixel tried to run, but the bear was already on her. Jaws designed to crack open logs closed around her midsection. The sound of her exoskeleton shattering mixed with her screams. The rest of the group scattered in panic, but they were not built for running. Their 6 legs, perfect for their low-gravity homeworld, struggled with Earth's heavier pull. The bear abandoned Pixel's still form and charged after Rivok. Sheeran reached the ship first, her respiratory system pumping in terror. She slammed the emergency recall and the airlock began to cycle open. Others reached the ramp, scrambling over each other in their panic to get inside. Behind them, the bear stood over Rivok's body, huffing with exertion. She had only been protecting her cubs. To her, these strange, chittering creatures were simply threats to eliminate. She watched as the metal craft sealed itself, then turned and ambled back to her cubs who were bawling in distress. Inside the precious dream, 12 survivors huddled together in shock. They had lost 8 members of their party in less than a minute. To a single creature, a creature that, according to the ship's database, was not even considered among Earth's most dangerous animals. "We need to leave," someone whispered. "We need to leave now." "No," Zekthar's nephew Kixan said from the command chair. His voice shook but held determination. "We came here to prove the humans wrong. One animal, one isolated incident does not make a world dangerous. We will relocate to a different region. Somewhere more open. Somewhere we can see threats approaching." "Are you insane?" Sheeran demanded. "We just watched." "My uncle paid bribes worth a fortune to get us here," Kixan interrupted. "Those bribes bought us 72 hours before council investigators discover what we did. We will not waste his sacrifice. We will prove this is a garden world. We will show the galaxy that humans are simply paranoid primitives." He pulled up a map of Earth on the main display. His manipulator appendage pointed to a large landmass in the southern hemisphere. "Here, wide open spaces, desert terrain, minimal vegetation. We can see anything approaching from kilometers away." "Where's that?" someone asked weakly. "The human designation is Australia," Kixan read from the database. "Scans show it is mostly empty of large animals. Perfectly safe." Behind them, unnoticed, a red alert began blinking on the communications console. Human ships were moving to intercept their vessel. A message repeated endlessly in multiple languages. "Valkyrie vessel Precious Dream. This is Earth Defense Captain Maria Santos. We are tracking your position. Do not attempt another landing. We are coming to extract you for your own safety. Acknowledge immediately." But the Valkyrie were not listening. They were already plotting their course to Australia, convinced that their first encounter had simply been bad luck. Captain Santos, aboard the human frigate Sentinel, watched the Valkyrie ship change course. She turned to her crew, her expression grim. "They are heading to Australia," her navigator reported. Santos closed her eyes. "Of course they are. Helm, match their course. Medical team, prepare for multiple casualties, possibly fatalities." "Should we force them down, Captain?" her weapons officer asked. "We cannot fire on a diplomatic vessel without starting an interstellar incident," Santos replied. "All we can do is follow and try to save whoever is left when they realize their mistake." The Australian outback stretched endlessly in every direction, red earth and sparse vegetation under a merciless sun. Kixan had been right about one thing. They could see for kilometers here. What he had not anticipated was that visibility worked both ways, and that Earth's dangers did not always announce themselves with sighs. The Valkyrie had set up a camp near a dry riverbed, hoping to find water when they heard flowing liquid in the distance. 3 of them, including Sheeran, approached the sound with sample containers ready. "Finally, something peaceful," she said. relaxing slightly. The memory of the bear attack still haunted her, but 2 days without incident had begun to restore her confidence. Just water and rocks. No large predators. She knelt by the riverbed and reached out to test the water temperature. Something small and brown moved near her appendage. She barely glanced at it. A spider, perhaps. She had seen Earth spiders in databases, tiny harmless creatures that ate insects. The Sydney funnel web spider struck faster than her nervous system could process. Its fangs, designed to pierce through fingernails and tough insect shells, easily penetrated the softer joints in her exoskeleton. Venom pumped into her body. Neurotoxins developed over millions of years to paralyze prey. Sharon jerked back with a cry. The spider dropped away, already retreating to safety. She stared at the tiny puncture marks on her appendage. "What happened?" called Rivesh, her companion. "Something bit me," Sharon said. She felt strange. Her respiratory system began working harder. It was so small. Barely the size of her legs buckled. She collapsed onto the red earth, her body convulsing. Rivesh rushed to her side, calling frantically for medical assistance. By the time they got her back to the ship, her nervous system had shut down completely. She died within 20 minutes, killed by a creature that weighed less than her smallest appendage. Kixon stood over her body in the medical bay, his mind struggling to process what had happened. "How?" he whispered. "How can something so small be so deadly?" The ship's computer, loaded with Earth's biological databases, provided an answer he wished he had read earlier. The Sydney funnel web spider is one of the most venomous arachnids on Earth. Its venom contains delta-atrichotoxin, which affects the nervous system of primates and insects. The Velkari nervous system appears similarly vulnerable. "One of the most venomous?" Kixon repeated. "How many venomous species does this planet have?" The computer began listing. Approximately 170 species of venomous snakes, over 40,000 species of spiders with varying toxicity levels, multiple species of venomous jellyfish, venomous fish, venomous octopi, venomous snails. "Venomous! Stop!" Kixon commanded. His mind reeled. What kind of world had so many creatures that killed with poison? 3 more Velkari died over the next day. One stepped on a brown snake that had been warming itself on a rock. Another encountered a saltwater crocodile while collecting samples from a coastal area. The third was stung by a box jellyfish while wading in shallow ocean water, dying in agony as the venom stopped their hearts. By the 4th day, only 6 Velkari remained alive. They huddled inside their ship, afraid to step outside. Kixon sat in the command chair, reviewing Earth's biological data with growing horror. "Every ecosystem," he muttered, scrolling through file after file. "Every single ecosystem has apex predators. Multiple apex predators. And the smaller creatures are even worse. Mosquitoes that carry deadly diseases. Ticks that transmit parasites. Bacteria in the water. Fungi in the soil that can infect respiratory systems. We need to leave," said Trixall, the last surviving member of the original security team. "We need to admit we were wrong and leave." "We cannot leave yet," Kixon replied, though his voice lacked conviction. "The humans will use this as propaganda against us. They will say we were fools who ignored warnings. The council will punish my house for this unauthorized landing. Better punished than dead," Trixall shot back. An alert chimed. Kixon pulled up the external cameras. A human vessel had landed 200 meters from their position. Figures in protective suits emerged, moving with practiced efficiency across the deadly landscape. "They came," Kixon breathed. "The humans came for us." Captain Maria Santos led her team toward the Velkari ship. She had done 3 tours of duty protecting foolish aliens who thought they understood Earth. This was her worst case yet. 8 confirmed deaths, possibly more inside the vessel. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the Velkari ship," her communications officer reported. "They are requesting immediate extraction and medical assistance." "Tell them we are approaching," Santos replied. "And tell them to stay inside until we secure the perimeter." Her team established a safe zone using electronic deterrents and chemical barriers. Only then did Santos approach the airlock. A Velkari emerged, his exoskeleton showing signs of stress fractures. He looked at her with all 6 eyes, and she saw something in that alien gaze she had seen before. Trauma. "Captain Santos?" he asked through his translator. "I am here," she confirmed. "How many survivors?" 6, Kixon replied. "We lost 10. 10 of us to your planet." Santos felt a familiar mixture of pity and frustration. I tried to warn you. Ambassador Chen tried to warn your council. Earth is not what it appears to be. We thought we knew better, Kixan said quietly. We thought you were primitives afraid of your own shadows. We thought a garden world could not possibly be dangerous. Come inside our ship, Santos said. Let my medical team examine your people. Then we need to talk. You need to understand what Earth really is. Inside the human vessel's medical bay, Santos pulled up holographic displays while Velkari doctors tended to the survivors. She showed them Earth's history, ice ages that had wiped out countless species, asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, mass extinction events. Your world experiences regular catastrophes, Kixan observed. Horrified. Every 100,000 years or so, yes, Santos confirmed. And between those events, life here evolves in constant competition. Every creature is predator or prey or both. Every plant defends itself with thorns or toxins. Every microorganism fights for survival. Earth is not a garden, Kixan. Earth is a battlefield that has been running for 3 billion years. She pulled up another display showing human evolution. My species survived because we learned to adapt faster than the dangers could kill us. We learned to hunt the hunters. We learned to eat the poisonous plants by cooking them. We learned to turn every danger into a tool. We domesticated wolves into dogs. We turned venomous snakes into medicine sources. We conquered fire, disease, and predators. And you tried to warn us, Kixan said, understanding dawning. You tried to tell us that anything that survived here would be dangerous. Including us, Santos agreed. Especially us. We are not the strongest or fastest or most poisonous thing on Earth, Kixan. But we are the most adaptable, the most persistent, and the most deadly when threatened. We evolved here. This is what made us. Kixan looked at the data, then at Santos. Why do you guard your borders so heavily? We thought you feared invasion. Santos smiled, but it was not a happy expression. We do not guard our borders to keep others out, Kixan. We guard our borders to keep Earth contained. Because the worst thing on our planet is not the bears or the spiders or the diseases. What is the worst thing? Kixan asked, though he thought he knew the answer. Us, Santos replied simply. Armed humans defending our home. You have seen what Earth's natural dangers can do. Imagine what 6 billion humans could do if we thought our world was threatened. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session 3 days after the Velkari survivors returned. The crystalline walls of the chamber pulsed with dark reds and purples, colors representing shock and anger. Kixan stood in the center, his exoskeleton still bearing cracks from his ordeal, while Ambassador Chen waited patiently to one side. You defied Council guidelines, High Counselor Vexathi accused, his voice harsh. You violated Earth's declared borders. Your recklessness cost 10 lives, I know, Kixan said quietly. I thought I was proving the humans were lying. Instead, I proved they were telling the truth. Vexathi turned his attention to Chen. Ambassador, the Council owes humanity an apology. We did not believe your warnings. We thought you were exaggerating. With respect, Counselor, you still do not fully understand, Chen replied. He stepped forward and activated a holographic display. May I present a comprehensive analysis of Earth? I believe it is time the Council learned what a death world truly means. The display showed Earth rotating slowly, looking peaceful and beautiful. Then data began overlaying the image. Temperature ranges that swung from -80 to +50 degrees Celsius. Atmospheric pressure variations that could crush or explode unprepared organisms. Gravity 20% higher than galactic standard. These are your physical challenges, Chen explained, but they are the least of Earth's dangers. Let me show you what evolution on Earth requires. Images of Earth's creatures appeared. Not the calm documentary footage from before, but hunting sequences. A pride of lions taking down a buffalo. A great white shark breaching to catch a seal. A pack of wolves coordinating to surround prey. A crocodile's death roll, a python constricting, an eagle diving at terminal velocity. Every animal you see evolved under constant pressure, Chen continued. Prey species developed speed, camouflage, herding instincts, and defensive weapons. Predator species developed strength, speed, intelligence, and hunting strategies. This arms race has been running for hundreds of millions of years. Counselor Then's gaseous form swirled with distress. We had no idea. Our worlds have predators, but nothing like this. Nothing so efficient at killing. Now let me show you humanity's place in the system, Chen said. The display changed to show early human ancestors. Weak, slow, with no natural weapons. Then came the progression. Tool use, fire, clothing, shelter, agriculture. The timeline accelerated, showing human expansion across the planet, surviving ice ages, crossing oceans, settling every continent. We are not the strongest species Earth produced, Chen explained. We are not the fastest or most venomous, but we are the most adaptable. We can survive in deserts and Arctic tundra. We can eat almost anything. We can heal from injuries that would kill most species. And most importantly, we can think, plan, and work together. He pulled up detailed biological data. Human immune systems are aggressive to the point of being dangerous to ourselves. We evolved fighting millions of species of bacteria, viruses, parasites, and fungi. The common cold on Earth would kill most species in this chamber within hours. We barely notice it. Ambassador Shiala, who had been silent until now, spoke up. What about your response to danger? The Valkyrie reported that you smile when threatened. This seems contradictory. Chen's expression turned serious. That is a threat display. Many Earth primates bare their teeth as a warning before attacking. We also have an adrenaline response that temporarily increases our strength, speed, and pain tolerance. A human under adrenaline can fight with broken bones and ignore wounds that would incapacitate most species. That sounds like a medical condition, observed the Melodian healer in attendance. It is a survival adaptation, Chen corrected. On Earth, if you stop fighting because of pain, you die. So we evolved the ability to keep fighting despite pain. We evolved the ability to push our bodies beyond safe limits when survival demands it. Kixun spoke up, his voice still haunted. Captain Santos told me something while we were being rescued. She said humans are endurance hunters. What does that mean? Chen nodded to him. It means we evolved to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. A human can track an animal for days, running at a steady pace, never stopping, never giving up. Eventually, the prey's muscles fail and we simply walk up and kill it. We are not fast, but we are relentless. We do not give up. The council chamber fell silent. The implications were sinking in. Show them the rest, Kixan said. Show them what I saw in Captain Santos's files. Show them human history. Chen hesitated, then complied. The display shifted to human warfare. Ancient battles with spears and swords. Medieval sieges. Modern conflicts with firearms and explosives. The council watched in growing horror as humans fought each other with the same ruthless efficiency they used against Earth's predators. We have been fighting each other for our entire history, Chen said quietly. We developed warfare into a science. Strategy, tactics, logistics, combined arms operations. We created weapons specifically designed to kill other humans, and we did this while simultaneously fighting off every predator on our planet. Why? Demanded Vexathi. Why would you turn such violence on your own species? Because Earth taught us that only the strongest survive, Chen replied. Because resources are limited and threats are everywhere. Because that is what evolution on a death world creates. We are not proud of this history, counselor, but we cannot deny it. Violence is part of what made us. He changed the display to show modern Earth. Cities, farmland, protected nature reserves. But we also learned cooperation. We learned that working together made us stronger. We created laws, governments, civilizations. We turned Earth from a battlefield into something approaching a garden. It took us 10,000 years and countless wars, but we did it. And now you guard your borders, Then observed. Not to protect yourselves, but to protect us. Partially, Chen admitted. But also to protect Earth. Because what you saw, counselors, was Earth on its best behavior. You visited during calm weather in relatively safe zones. You encountered common animals displaying normal behavior. Imagine a typhoon. Imagine an earthquake. Imagine a volcanic eruption. Imagine Earth during one of its periodic mass extinction events. He pulled up geological data showing Earth's violent history. Asteroid impacts, supervolcano eruptions, ice ages, the Permian extinction that killed 90% of all species, the asteroid that ended the dinosaurs. Life on Earth survives because it adapts or dies, Chen said. There is no middle ground. And humanity survived every extinction event, every catastrophe, every predator because we adapted faster and better than anything else. That is what a death world creates. That is what we are. The council sat in silence for a long moment. Finally, Vexathi spoke. What are you asking of us, Ambassador Chen? Respect our borders, Chen replied. Understand that we are not being paranoid or territorial. We are being protective. Earth's ecosystem is not compatible with most galactic species. Our diseases would kill you. Our predators would hunt you. Our weather would crush you. And if you threatened our world, we would defend it with everything we have. Are you threatening the council? Fixati asked carefully. No, Chen said. I am simply stating facts. Humanity wants peace. We want trade and cooperation. But we need you to understand what we are and where we come from. We need you to respect that our strength comes from surviving on a world that tried to kill us every single day. For millions of years. Kixan stepped forward. I can confirm everything Ambassador Chen has said. I thought I understood what a death world meant. I was wrong. Earth is not just dangerous. Earth is a crucible that forges its life into weapons. The humans are not the exception. They are the rule. Everything that survives there is deadly. Then what do you propose? Asked Shiala. Give them what they ask, Kixan replied. Respect their borders. Let them control access to their world. And learn from them. Because if we ever face a real threat, a species that evolved somewhere even worse than Earth, we will need allies who understand survival. We will need the humans. The Council's decision took 3 days of debate, but ultimately they voted to grant Earth full sovereign borders with no restrictions. Ambassador Chen returned to Earth's orbital defense network with the signed agreement, expecting that to be the end of the matter. He was wrong. 6 weeks later, a fleet appeared at the edge of human space, 70 warships bearing the markings of the Kreth Dominion, a militaristic empire from the far side of the galaxy. They had not attended the council session. They had not seen the evidence, and they had their own ideas about humanity. Attention primitive species, the message broadcast across all frequencies. This is War Master Krell of the Kreth Dominion. Your world has been classified as a strategic resource. You will surrender control immediately or be eliminated. You have 1 standard hour to comply. On the bridge of Earth Defense Station Alpha, Admiral James Volkov listened to the message with an expression that his crew had learned to fear. It was the expression he wore when someone made a very stupid mistake. Communications, what do we know about the Kreth? He asked. They are a conquest species, sir, replied Lieutenant Chen, David's niece. They have absorbed 47 other civilizations. They view negotiation as weakness. They believe might makes right. How very human of them, Volkov observed dryly. Except they made one critical error. They announced their intentions. Earth predators do not announce. We simply act. He activated the fleet-wide channel. All defense stations, all patrol ships, all ground-based installations, this is Admiral Volkov. Activate Defense Plan Omega. Authorization code Cerberus 777. Let us show these conquerors what prey fights back. Across the solar system, humanity's military infrastructure came alive. Stations that had appeared dormant suddenly revealed weapons. Asteroids that seemed like navigation hazards adjusted their orbits. Satellite networks that broadcast entertainment suddenly began coordinating targeting data. War Master Krell watched with amusement as his fleet approached Earth. His sensors showed the human defenses. Outdated compared to Kreth technology, scattered, poorly coordinated. This would be easier than he thought. Helm, bring us into optimal firing range, he commanded. Weapons, prepare to demonstrate our power. We will destroy one of their outer stations as a warning. War Master, we are detecting unusual readings, his sensor officer reported. The asteroid belt is showing abnormal density patterns. Ignore it, Krell dismissed. Probably navigation errors from primitive sensors. Focus on the target. The Kreth fleet crossed into the asteroid belt at full speed. Then humanity sprang its trap. The asteroids were not natural. Some were hollowed out and filled with railgun batteries. Others were nothing but engines and warheads, guided missiles the size of mountains. Still others released swarms of autonomous combat drones, each no larger than a human fist but carrying enough explosive to punch through ship hulls. Evasive action. Krell screamed as his view screen filled with incoming projectiles, but evasive action was too late. Humanity had spent decades militarizing the asteroid belt, turning their own solar system into the largest minefield in the galaxy. The Kreth had flown directly into a trap that had been waiting since first contact. Railgun slugs moving at significant fractions of light speed tore through Kreth shields like they were not there. Missile asteroids crashed into capital ships with the force of nuclear weapons. Drone swarms overwhelmed point defense systems through sheer numbers. Krell's flagship shuddered as impacts struck the hull. Return fire! All weapons return fire! The Kreth fleet unleashed their arsenal. Energy weapons powerful enough to boil oceans struck human installations. Missiles with fusion warheads detonated against defense stations. For a moment it seemed the superior Kreth technology would turn the tide. Then the human ships arrived. They came from the outer system. from hiding positions near the gas giants. Sleek frigates and cruisers built not for exploration but for war. They moved with coordination that spoke of extensive training, firing with precision that proved they understood three-dimensional combat. Impossible, Krell shouted. They should not be this good. They are primitives. His tactical officer knew better. He had pulled up Earth's files during the battle. War Master, these humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. They know war. They understand strategy. On Station Alpha, Admiral Volkov watched the battle unfold with cold satisfaction. Target their command ship. All railguns synchronized fire. Let us remove their leadership. The Kreth flagship, massive and powerful, withstood the first salvo. And the second. But human weapons kept firing, kept pounding, never stopping, never giving up. Eventually, even Kreth shields failed. The command ship broke apart in a cascade of explosions. War Master Krell found himself floating in a damaged escape pod, watching his fleet being systematically destroyed. The humans were not just winning. They were hunting. They pursued damaged Kreth ships like wolves chasing wounded prey. They coordinated their attacks with ruthless efficiency, and they were smiling. Krell could see them on the communication channels his pod was picking up. Human commanders coordinating the battle, and they were showing their teeth. That same threat display Ambassador Chen had warned the Council about. "This is Captain Santos," he heard one human say. "Target fleeing vessels. No survivors reach the edge of the system. We cannot let them report our full capabilities." "Confirmed," another captain replied. "Pack hunting formation. Standard Earth doctrine. Make it clean. Pack hunting. Standard doctrine." The words chilled Krell more than the explosions around him. This was not just military tactics. This was predator instinct refined by technology. These humans fought the way their planet had taught them, as apex predators eliminating a threat. Krell's pod was captured by a human tractor beam. He expected execution. Instead, he found himself in a detention cell aboard Station Alpha, face to face with Admiral Volkov. "Why did you not kill me?" Krell demanded. "Because you are going to deliver a message," Volkov replied. He pulled up a holographic display showing the battle. Of 70 Kreth ships, 3 escaped. The rest were debris. "You are going to tell your Dominion what happens when someone threatens Earth. You will claim this was a great victory," Krell spat. "You will boast of your power." "No," Volkov said quietly. "I will tell you the truth, and you will carry that truth back to your people. This was not a great victory. This was pest control. You threatened our home, and we eliminated the threat. We used perhaps 5% of our total defensive capability. We never deployed our ground forces. We never used our strategic weapons. We never showed you what human soldiers can do when they are truly threatened." He leaned forward, his expression deadly serious. "Your mistake was thinking Earth is valuable because it is beautiful. But Earth is valuable because it made us. Every human alive is a survivor of a 3-billion-year trial by fire. We are the descendants of creatures that survived extinction events, ice ages, super predators, and each other. We are what a death world creates when it gives intelligence to its apex predator. The Council will punish you for this aggression," Krell tried. "The Council already knows," Volkov replied. "We transmitted all battle data to them in real time. They are currently voting on whether to sanction the Kreth Dominion for violating our sovereign borders. But you should know something else, War Master. The reason we guard our borders so heavily is not just to protect others from Earth. It is to protect Earth from itself." "What do you mean?" Volkov smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. "You attacked with 70 ships. Earth could have responded with 7,000. We have an entire planet of people who grew up fighting Earth's challenges every single day. We have billions of humans who understand survival, who understand conflict, who understand war. The military force you encountered was designed to defend against external threats. What do you think we have in reserve for existential threats?" The implications sank in. Krell had seen a fraction of humanity's power, and it had destroyed his fleet with ease. "We do not want to be conquerors," Volkov continued. "We do not want to spread across the galaxy subjugating others. We have done enough of that to ourselves throughout our history, but neither will we allow others to threaten our home. Earth's borders are closed not because we are weak, but because we are dangerous. Do you understand?" Krell understood. He had made the same mistake the Velkari made. He had looked at Earth and seen a garden world, valuable but defenseless. He had not understood that the most dangerous species in the galaxy were the ones who survived on a world that actively tried to kill them. 3 weeks later, Krell stood before the Dominion Council on his homeworld. He delivered his report honestly, knowing it would cost him his rank, possibly his life. Earth is not a viable target, he concluded. The humans are not primitives. They are apex predators with technology. Any attempt at conquest would result in total war, and I do not believe we would win. The Dominion debated for days but ultimately chose survival over pride. They sent an official apology to Earth and signed a non-aggression pact. On Earth, life continued normally. Children went to school. People worked, loved, argued, and dreamed. They walked under blue skies and swam in oceans surrounded by beauty that could kill them at any moment. And they did this without thinking, because they were human, and adapting to danger was simply what they did. In the Galactic Council, Ambassador Chen received a formal designation for Earth. Death World, restricted access, sovereign control recognized. It was accompanied by a new position. Humanity was granted a permanent council seat and the title of Protector Species. What does that mean? Chen asked Kixon, who had become an unofficial human ambassador among the other species. It means if the galaxy ever faces a threat we cannot handle with diplomacy, Kixon replied. We know who to call. The species that learned to survive where nothing else could. Chen looked at Earth rotating peacefully in the view screen of the orbital station. Beautiful, deadly home. Let us hope it never comes to that, he said quietly. But somewhere in the back of his mind, in the part that still carried the instincts of his ancestors who hunted across African plains, he knew the truth. If that day came, humanity would be ready, because Earth had spent 3 billion years preparing them, and they would not stop fighting until the threat was eliminated. Because that was what apex predators did. That was what Deathworlders did. That was what humans did. They survived